I feel like I've been the best tester for the Panigale V2 that Ducati will ever see. So hopefully they watch this video and send me more Ducati motorcycles that are very expensive. Because that would be ideal. But anyways, this thing has 15, actually I think it might even be 16. We're gonna look. Guys, don't forget to go check out Raven Moto. This is their new Phantom street jacket. This thing is awesome. You can see all the detail in it. It's really high quality leather. It's got zippers all over the place to cool your arms and different features. Full armor, beautiful high grade leather jacket. The Phantom Raven Moto. Use my discount code Hardcity, all caps. That'll get you 10 off. Peak summer out here in Texas. It's hot. It's 105 degrees. So, the bike's been running pretty good. Minus, it's really running lean right now. It desperately needs a tune. I don't know how many of you guys watched my last video. The thing that I'm waiting on with the tune is it also needs the valves adjusted. I don't think they're terribly out of alignment, but that doesn't still mean that you need to replace all those little internals. So that's what they're gonna do. Basically rebuild the whole top end with them valves and everything, and they're gonna replace both head gaskets. So I won't have the bike for a little while at the end of August. Also, I need a new windscreen because I hit a bird doing about $120 and cracked that WRS windscreen. Well, put a hole in it, didn't even. So that's what happens to a windscreen. Actually, to the beak or the skull of the bird, got the paint there really good too. That this bike's gonna be getting wrapped so this year, actually during the winter. So I'm not worried about the paint at all. I like it. Gives a little bit of character. Like, it's got a bad stone chip somewhere right here, and honestly that's probably from someone walking into it. Like, I don't see how a rock does that. It doesn't look like a rock chip. It looks like a door, or somebody walked into it or something. I don't know. A little mirror rub there. Anyway, it's got some things. It needs head gaskets. Those are the big things, and the valves adjusted, and the tune. I have a few options with the tune. I'm lucky for me, I live in Austin, and arguably the best dyno shop, tune shop in the country is here in Austin at AF1 Racing. They used to be a Ducati dealer. Now they're Aprilia. Those guys over there are literally the best in the world at tuning, so they're gonna do the bike. They don't usually do Ducatis, but I got some connections over there now with some friends, and they really like the bike. It's unique, so they're gonna tune it. So yeah, that's gonna be cool. But I need the valves done, because what's the point of getting the valves? What's the point of getting it tuned then before the valves? This is more yellow staining on the paint of this white. The suspect here is at work. There's these like birds or whatever that jump on like your car or whatever, and I've caught a few of them on the bike a few times, and I'm suspecting that they're pissing on the bike when I'm inside, and then the hot sun is baking on it, and that's what that yellow stain is. Because I can't really think of anything else it would be besides those freaking birds taking pisses on it. So thank you to them. But whatever, it gives a little character. Like, I don't really care. Like, I hit this all the time. It's from the cover, the bike cover. So if you guys are plan on keeping your bike outside and you have a cover, covers are gonna scratch your bike 100%. There is no cover, and I have a really good like $175 Dalco super duper cover, and it still scratches it. And so I'll show you guys the mileage, because look, that's like a big part of this, right? Like, this bike, you got to keep in mind, I daily this thing pretty much, like I don't necessarily take it to work every single day because I do the van pool, but I do ride it every day, like to the van pool location, which is my friend's house. Goes in the garage, we get in the van, and we go to work. Sometimes I take it to work, but it's a 60-mile round trip, and traffic going into Tesla right now is an absolute nightmare. So they got all the shifts coming in at once. It's a mess right now, so I'm not bringing the bike out there. But yeah, so let's take a look at the mileage. As you can see, 15,936 miles. The service light's on. And this thing's running, man. Like, it's got no issues other than it running lean. And by that I mean the tune isn't set for this exhaust. This Van Diemen exhaust is badass. It's really like probably the best exhaust you can get for this bike for the price. And it just looks unbelievable. I run it with the silencers in it. I think it gives the bike more horsepower. It feels like it has more pep to it when I have those in. But if I do want to make a lot of noise, I take them out. But you really shouldn't, because there's two different tunes for that, right? It's different back pressure. So, you know, the tune I have for it is actually for the freaking silencers to be in there. So, you know, the thing's louder than shit still. It doesn't really make a difference, but running lean, you know, you can feel it kind of more so when I have the silencers in, the DB killers. That's when you can really feel the difference, or hear it or feel it. Because when the DB killers are out, it's just losing back pressure, and it's just not a good, it doesn't feel very good. It's still fast on the top end, but you can definitely feel it on the bottom. So I need to get all that straightened out. That's why you really haven't seen me making vlogs of going on these, you know, trips like I have. I've been kind of chilling out on the bike lately because of, you know, the valves needing to be done. Like I said, like, it doesn't feel out of adjustment or anything. The bike doesn't overheat. Unless I'm in stop traffic in 105 degree weather, then it'll kick on the high temp alarm. It's done it once, but that'll happen with any bike. That's not just because it's a Panigale. You know, like, any bike will do that. It's 105 degrees. You're sitting in traffic, not moving. It needs the air to cool it down. So if it is getting a high temp, all you got to do is put it in a high RPM, or keep it in a high gear, low RPM, and don't make the engine work as hard, and try to get cold, nice, clean air into the intakes, and it should cool it down. But sometimes it'll get that high temp, and you're going to want to try to either, like I said, cool it off or pull the bike off to the side of the road, which I had to do that day because I didn't want to overheat the bike. So then you got all kinds of problems. But once I cooled it off, I got it to like 117 or 217, and then I started back up, went home. It was fine. So yeah, that's like the only thing that's happened to it was that. I've been through 3 oil changes. I'm due for another one because I change it every 3,000, and 3 sets of tires. So if you guys are wondering if this bike is cheap, it's not. Now, you know, obviously I ride the bike a ton. Like, I'm probably going to put 20,000 miles on it within a year of ownership. That's ridiculous. That's so many. Nobody does that. So, you know, it's been through a chain and sprocket already, and that's not because it didn't need it. It needed a new chain and sprocket, so I put an aftermarket one on there. And now I think I have something up with that because I'm getting a lot of wear here in the sprocket on only one side. So I'm going to have the Ducati dealer probably replace the sprocket and the chain. Happy with that sprocket because of the way it's worn, and just, we'll see. So I have a safety wire and everything, but you can see the wear in that, and it's not on the whole thing. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with now. The biggest issue with it, it does leak a little bit of oil out of the gasket there. It's not a big deal at all. It's a simple fix. Kind of, you do got to take the subframe off to get to that. I have a bike that has 16,000 miles on it. Those are some of the things you're going to be expecting, right? It just, for me, it happened very fast because I ride the bike a lot. Like, usually this doesn't have, people don't have to worry about this stuff for like 3 years, you know, because it takes most people 15,000 miles. They put on their bike 4 or 5 years. A lot of people, like, they don't ride their bikes like that. A lot of people just keep these in the garage or the track, but not me. I ride my bikes. So you're not gonna, even if I could have a superleggra, I would still ride this thing. I could have a superleggra, I would ride that in this. It doesn't matter what kind of bike I have. Like, these guys, these YouTubers you see, you know, they got these super expensive bikes, and all I do is take Instagram pictures with them. It's like, come on, man, you know? I'll ride that thing to every single bike show in Texas. So that's why Ducati needs to step up and give me some bikes, man. But the thing is still beautiful. Yeah, I've had like no issues with it at all. I gotta put new grips on it again. Man, it just runs. The thing runs so clean and good. Like, you know, outside of the tuning issues that it needs to get done. Yeah, the thing just runs good. And you know, it's not like the tune, it's just something I noticed because I ride the bike every day. I think the average person would get on this thing and it would be way too fast for them. Like, I just noticed from me riding the bike, I'm very adapted to it now and used to it, and I know how it's supposed to feel and how it felt from the factory, and to what it feels like now. On the top end is definitely faster, but you can really feel it in those lower end gears, and it's really hard. This bike, honestly guys, you can't ride this bike slow. It doesn't like to go slow. It's gonna jump, you know, bump gears hard when you're going slow. It's just, you know, it likes to be wound out and it likes to go fast. I mean, it's made to go fast around a racetrack. That's it. This thing is not made to sit in traffic. So, you know, when people get this bike and they complain, oh, it's hot, oh, it gets this, it's that. It's like, there's a freaking race bike. Like, why did you buy a race bike? Like, the dude was complaining about the trunk space. He's like, oh, I can't even put a license and registration back there. I'm like, why would you worry about that? It's a freaking race bike. But this is the trunk. I have a tire pressure gauge in there, but I can't get it out unless I take my muffler off because it blocks the key. But whatever, there's nothing in there. Everything's on my phone, license, insurance, all that stuff. It's on my phone. No, I don't think anybody on planet Earth carries papers anymore. But anyway, I digress. What else is going on with this thing? I'm not really gonna tell you what I have planned for the wrap and wheels and some more carbon fiber. What I plan to do is basically tear the whole bike apart, probably in September, or I don't know. It stays nice out here till, I don't know, you say like November. So sometime around the loudest car on planet Earth has to be here right when I'm filming. Sometime around November, I'll start tearing it down. And that's when I'm going to do like the brakes and probably new wheels, bunch of stuff. I'm going to save up for all that stuff and do it all at once and get it ready for next year's MotoGP weekend. And then hopefully we may be getting another bike around that time period too. But we'll see. I'm not really too worried about another bike. This thing is still awesome. It's going to be cool forever. I mean, just look at the way this thing looks on the stand. It's so sick looking. Louis Moto seat covers holding up nicely. I've had that for a while now. You're seeing some wear here on it, you know, so like this is a good thing for you guys to check out, because this is like what it's like when you really ride these bikes. You know, when you put these domino grips on, these are probably good about 5,000 miles, dudes, and then they start looking like that, you know. So I've had them for 2 months because I ride the bike like an ass all over the place. Like, I literally, with need valves done, I literally rode this bike to San Antonio, 2-hour ride back, so 4 hours on the bike. And yeah, so how's that for a test, Ducati? Your bike is awesome. It's an amazing motorcycle. It has absolutely no issues. I mean, you know, on any motorcycle, it's going to start leaking oil at 15,000 miles somewhere. You know, like if it starts dripping oil out of the block, then you probably got big problems, right? You might have shot a rod or something, you know, or worse, right? But little moisty wetness coming out of here is not out of the ordinary. Chains and sprockets, tires, those kind of things, clutches, brake fluids, coolant fluids, all those things need to be changed the more you ride it. So I'm at that point, right? And it's not a big deal. I know these is like part of the game, right, guys? So motorcycles are not cheap unless you don't ride them. Like, literally. And you know, get yourself some good gear. Like I always tell you guys, Raven Moto makes really good stuff. This is their new jacket I want to show you guys. Check out their gloves. Yeah, so what else? One more thing. Oh, this new tire. I did want to show you guys this tire. I went to a Metzler because it was kind of an emergency situation. I needed the tire to go to San Antonio with the bike, and I needed a tire. So this is what they had. This is a 180. Remember, I jumped it to a 190, and that's what I've been using the last two. So I like the 190, but I like the 180 55 better. The one that come with the bike is a 180 50. This is a 55, which basically means this is thicker. It just looks like a big, beefy, thick tire, and I love the way it looks. It looks way better than the 180. When you look at the 190. When you look at it from the back, it's nice and wide. You know, like it just gives you that really nice wide look, and I like it. And it's a stock size. Besides, you know, that thickness, and this is a street tire. You know, it gets pretty hot and sticky, but yeah, I got the Ducabike conical. Goes on this side if you didn't know, because I didn't know that. The other side's flat, the axle nut. This side's a conical one. So if you guys run into that issue, this safety wire is going to be better. I'm going to put it up there and safety wire some other things. The rear sets from CNC that cost $1,000. These are CNC rear sets, racing rear sets. They're the same ones I use on the GP bikes and Moto America and any super bike that races. These are the rear sets they use. They're not different. They're literally the same exact thing. So these are awesome. No adjustments. I mean, I don't mess with them. They're fine. They're built amazing, right? These things they're just so good. They're so good. But I really like these rear sets. And GP shift, still have it in there. I may need a quick shifter or something going on there. It looks like some oil. Oh no, that's okay, but I am thinking about getting a new quick shifter. Yeah, you can see that oil right there, and this is a normal kind of thing for this bike with this amount of miles, so no worries. I do need to get brakes though, all the way around, and the coolant flush. So that's it. That's really all I got for you guys. Just giving you a little quick walk around of what the bike after 15,000 miles will look like. And God bless you if you put that many miles on in less than a year like I did. It's rough on your pockets for sure. So one thing that I do want to get, like desperately want to get, is the belly pan for underneath. I really need to get that done soon because it bothers me. I'll probably just get a fiberglass one because the carbon fiber one's really expensive, and you can see why that would bother. You know, that just empty space there, it makes the bike look incomplete and kind of just not finished. So need to get that. But yeah, you know, like the biggest thing, like I said, brakes, tune, valve interval, the Desmo, you know, whole deal, the Desmo service. So we'll get that finished, and then we'll have a brand new bike again, essentially. I mean, you know, and then the tune gets done, the dyno tune, and then maybe we can do some racing, right? Because this bad boy should really run. Like, I think it'd probably hold up against most people who are like not super racers, but I don't know, R1s and ZX10s, S1000s, this isn't keeping up with them. At least not until we get up to like 180, and then them bikes are just gonna keep going. You know, this bike kind of starts settling down at about 172, 75 ish. But I think that it is possible to get more power out of it, but I don't know if you would want to, because it's just not made for it. The engine's not made for that. So, but you can if you want to blow it up, because it will blow up if you keep doing that. But yeah, so my comfortable area is like 130, honestly, like 130, 140. When I want to go fast, that's about where I'm comfortable. And the safest circumstances I can think of, I feel comfortable at 130, 140. anything higher than that, man, it's really just things come up on you so quick. The danger increases by like 400% when you're going over 150. I mean, you know, it's kind of a little bit more controllable when you're doing 120, 130, I think, personally. Because those higher speeds like that, man, they just scare the shit out of you, especially at night. Like, things just come up so quick. But yeah, so guys, be safe out there. I'm still enjoying this bike, man. After all this time and all these rides, I love the bike every single day like I just bought it. Like, every time I look at this thing, I'm just absolutely in awe that I own this thing, you know, and then I built this to look like this. Like, a lot of people, oh, you didn't build it, you built. No, like, it didn't look like this from the factory. Like, you kidding me? It didn't have any of this on it. It's just completely, if you have a factory V2 next to this, it's two totally different looking bikes. You know, and this bike out here is starting to make a name for himself. Everybody kind of knows it. So that's cool. You know, it's known to be probably the nicest V2 in Texas, to be honest with you. I don't know if anybody has a nicer one than mine. And if they do, let's go for a ride, because that would be cool. Next year, we're going to have some Murchison wheels, and this thing is going to look totally different. You guys can guess in the comments what that's going to be. But anyways, I got to go. Like, share, subscribe. Raven Moto in the link down below. Get yourself some dope gear, because there's a bunch of new stuff. The Camo joggers are sick. This new leather jacket is sick. And yeah, you guys need to check that out. Help out the channel. Help yourselves out with the discount code Hardcity, all caps, 10% off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.